Well, you can argue that everything's manipulated. That thesis was built on supply-demand fundamentals on the technology of the day, mainly electronics, computers, cell phones, and so on. But today we have two new driving forces, which are electric cars and solar panels. These technologies or these businesses really didn't exist to them for the most part a decade ago. And today I'm even more committed that, I'm thinking, triple-digit silver. I was always thinking on the low end of that triple digit silver, but now I'm thinking it's possible to even get, into the higher end of that range.
That's on the industrial side. As you say, silver needed across a range of industries and certainly with electric vehicles. But how does silver play into this notion of inflation, dollar debasement with this unprecedented stimulus that we're seeing?
That's going to help gold, of course, and then gold's the granddaddy of commodities and or currencies. Call it what you may, but silver will get dragged along. But no, debasement or not, I think silver still has a very good future based on supply-demand fundamentals. You look at, as a mining industry, the miners produce about 800 million ounces of silver annually. You look at electric vehicles will be consuming about 100 million ounces this year. You look at solar panels, another 100 million ounces. So you have two industries that are consuming more than 10% or close to 20% of the world production. Above ground supplies are depleting at very fast rates. The deficit continues, so we've had a decade of deficits. Where's the silver coming from? It's not showing up yet, and I just don't think people get it. In talking about the, what you're referring to about the electric vehicles, there's 1.4 billion cars, automobiles, sitting on the surface of the earth right now. The automotive industry worldwide produces 90 million automobiles per year, of which 5 million of those are electric cars. So, and the electric vehicle business is consuming 100 million ounces of silver annually. So if you're going to replace every fuel combustion car on the planet by, call it 2030, call it 2035, call it 2040, how are you going to replace 1 billion cars at the rate of 5 million cars a year? Where's all that silver coming from? So do the math. For every 5 million cars, you need 100 million ounces of silver. So, it's simple. There's not enough silver on the planet that can meet the demands of government. Look, silver is a very electrically conductive material, and the only second to gold. Copper is very good as well. But when you're looking at a Tesla, for example, it's got 6,000 fuel cells in it, with a computer managing that battery base, or these batteries heat up and cool down, and you need a very sophisticated, very fast computer to be able to manage that case of batteries. You couldn't do it with any other metal. The cell phones, computers, there's tin, aluminum, any potential replacement just doesn't do the job. Silver is not replaceable. And on our website, we say there's no substitute for silver, and there's not. The fact of the matter is the banks can write unlimited amount of paper contracts. If there's a flurry of silver buying that comes into the marketplace and the banks don't want the price to move, they can just manipulate it. They can just write as many contracts as they wish to hold the price wherever they wish it to be. You look at uranium, for example. Just recently, the uranium's on fire because there's no futures market. That is a spot-based market. And I've been saying for quite some time that we need to get rid of the futures market because that's destroying price discovery, because it's those banks that control the market. The producers should be controlling price, not the banks. And we're not getting fair dollar for the hard work and labor that goes into the production of our metal. Well, you can argue that everything's manipulated. Interest rates. Look at the governments. The largest trading room on the planet is apparently the Federal Reserve's trading room. They manage prices, whether it's oil prices, whether it's the price of whatever, stock market, the S&P, the Dow Jones, and that's what governments do. I don't know why governments think they have the right to do it. I think governments should be right out of the market. Government should not be involved in pricing of anything. Government should be servicing the needs of the people and not the needs of the central banks or the banks themselves. The regulatory system was put in place to protect the retail investor, not to protect the banks. And we now have the government, backed by the Federal Reserve, protecting the big players in the system.
As they say, you can't fight the Fed.
I know, well, I keep trying every day, but it's a bit of a losing battle. But look, I think one day the physical market will prevail, and sooner that happens, the better.
Well, you're certainly winning the battle with First Majestic Silver, record revenues last quarter. Tell us about that.
No, look, we've been very focused on growing the business. We made a very good acquisition back in 2015, which grew the business by about 40%. We made a very good acquisition in 2018, again, growing the business by approximately the same. And we've now bought our first mine outside of Mexico. It's our first investment ever. The company's been in business for now 19 years. And we bought a gold mine in Nevada. Pretty exciting, and it's a great jurisdiction to be. I'm super excited about what we're doing in Nevada. It may be the beginning of a new future for the company. Too early to tell, but we're very happy to have an asset in the United States. We've tried to talk to the government a couple of times about it, well, more than once, multiple times, and there's just really no willingness to open up a meaningful discussion. We were forced into the corner, and we decided to bring the Canadian government into the picture and go through NAFTA and try to bring them to the table to arbitrate the situation, because quite frankly, the Mexican government is wrong in their viewpoints. There's a couple of people there that have dug their heels into the sand and feel that they're right. So when you have two opposing opinions like that are so strong as we are with our conviction, things tend to bog down, and that's where we are today.
Well, it seems like President Obrador has taken a very hard line approach to foreign miners, if you will, in Mexico. So what does that mean for the industry at large, given that Mexico is the world's top producer of silver? How do you see the political climate impacting things?
Well, mining is not alone. The oil and gas sector has been quite negatively impacted as well. There's a lot of American and Canadian energy companies that have invested in Mexico, and now it appears that some of those investments might be going sideways. A little bit too early to tell. The mining sector is concerned. We're watching it very closely. We're hoping that things will settle down, but we can't move a mine. So we continually do what we think is right. We've got big social programs in place. We continually assist the communities in education and in infrastructure, whether it's roads or water or electrical. We do all that for the communities that we're active in. Without us, these communities would be basically ghost towns. So we continually focus on that, and that's what we're good at doing. And we'll mind our own business and follow the laws of Mexico, and also follow the laws of Canada.